5 days now into the hazing trials of some former BGSU students in the death of Stone Foltz, who died after drinking too much alcohol. Ariel Onstadt joins us live from Bowling Green today. And Ariel, day 4 of this hazing trial, pretty emotional from this witness.
Emotional testimony, Melissa, because we're getting a closer look at Stone Foltz's final moments before he was dropped off at his apartment more than a year ago. Now, the state brought forth 4 witnesses from Canyon Caldwell and Joe Magi. We learned about how some of the actives tried to cover up the evidence after that big little reveal party. But from Scott Steck, we got to understand a little bit more about who Stone Foltz was and a look back at those moments as he was loaded into a car and driven home to his apartment. As you can imagine, this was incredibly emotional testimony for Stone Foltz family to hear when they were watching some of these videos and listening to Scott Steck speak. At certain points, they would shake their heads or cry, and ultimately they felt they had to walk out of the courtroom. Hearing and seeing videos of their son's final moments were too much to bear. Sherry Foltz leaving the courtroom sobbing after a video was shown of her son lying on the couch back at his apartment. Now, Steck says he took that video to show Stone made it home safely. He and another active, Joe Magi, testified they ultimately thought Stone was just drunk. Steck knew Stone before the fraternity. They went to high school in Delaware together and ultimately bonded over the death of a mutual friend, even getting similar tattoos to honor that friend before college. Steck and Stone shared the same fraternity big brother, Jacob Crin. Crin gave Steck the same bottle of alcohol he gave Foltz, though a semester earlier. Steck says he passed on that same bottle of Evan Williams bourbon to his little at the reveal last year. Only thing is, Steck says his little wasn't drinking because he had a drug test. Steck describes he moved his little to the laundry room at the frat house at one point because active frat members kept messing with him for not drinking. That was the off-campus frat house known as Bando. Now, Steck says after he, Jacob Crin, and others dropped Stone off at his apartment, they sat with him for 30 minutes and knocked on all the doors in his apartment to see if his roommates were home. No one answered, and ultimately they left.
Stone had threw up all over me and all over in the back seat, and I had to sit him up so he didn't choke. None of us had any reason to believe that anything was wrong. So Jacob said he's going to be all right, and then that.
Now, the defense did push back on this idea of Crin being responsible. They asked if Steck thought anything was wrong, would he have acted? And Steck said he would have. They were trying to point out that Crin could have done the same, but ultimately multiple fraternity members thought that Stone was just very drunk. Now, courtroom testimony continues with more of the state's witnesses. On Monday, I'll be back in the courtroom to give you that testimony then. Reporting live, I'm Ariel Onstadt, WTOL 11.